Welcome, everybody. We are back with the final part of episode 7 of the rewatch. This is it's going to be really, really bad, but it's not episode 8 yet. We've got something special planned for that. I hope you guys like it when we get there, but we have to get through this first. Our special guest this week, we got Daniel, who is a frequent commenter on our YouTube. Just joined our Discord. How you doing, bud? Glad you could come out.
I'm good. I hope it stays that way. We'll see.
Okay. Are you drinking yet?
I am. I've got a Jack Daniel's Southern Peach. It's kind of a girly drink.
We'll get there in a little bit. I'm on beer because it's Sunday and Pip says we have to behave. So I don't think I'm going to get too sloshed. But before we get to Pips, Alex, what are you drinking on this football Sunday?
I'm currently working my way through my Leinenkugel Sunset Wheats.
Oh, you still have them left over from the last time?
Yeah, because I only live in my place 1 through 2 days a week. My if I get a 24 pack, it lasts me a while.
Wow. Okay.
That doesn't make the math.
Or 2 weekends.
I'm not judging.
I was gonna say
24.
The math doesn't really make sense there. You said you get a 24 pack and it only lasts you a couple of weeks. I thought you said you lived in your place, a couple of days a week. That should last you like 1 week then, right?
Yeah, right. That good. Yeah, pretty much. I'm trying to make it sound better, guys.
Not all of us have bladders the size of a horse. Speaking of which, Pips, what are you drinking?
Still just drinking some bourbon today. So nothing nothing too fancy.
No old fashioned, no Jefferson's Ocean, just this from the still out back.
I mean it's Woodford Reserve, which is kind of my go-to when I don't want to drink anything too expensive.
Okay. Yeah, episode 7, I don't know if it warrants it. You got to break out the good stuff for episode 8. It's the only way to live.
I feel like you almost go the opposite way. You get the moonshine out and just get.
I was gonna say I do have a handle of White Dog that I figured might be appropriate for episode 8. Just straight unaged corn liquor.
I might not live to see the end of it. All right. And Daniel, you're on Jack and Peach?
Daniel, you have anything else you want to say? Otherwise, I don't know. I guess we can start doing this. I mean, none of us want to watch this. The alcohol hasn't taken its effect yet. So
I started drinking 20 minutes early just so I could be prepared.
Smart. That's smart.
I also started drinking in the morning, but that's just a habit.
Nice.
Now let's cut this loose.
That's Alex is like, that's just to make the pain go away.
All right. Rock and roll, guys. What we're covering today, I think we all know we got a mid-episode break coming in the halfway point, obviously, but we'll play it by ear. But I think we got a lot of this Lan and Nynaeve bullshit coming up. And let's just keep in mind their relationship throughout the series and how important it was that they not fuck in the Eye of the World.
Can I say something really quick before we hit play?
Yeah.
I love that the starting intro point for me is to see Lan, who is supposed to be a stone-faced guy, smirking like this. This is so not Lan, and just this still shot, and we haven't even started.
Well,
but he's not carrying a purse. So it's not the worst shot of Lan.
He's also like 3 inches taller than Nynaeve. He's got his sword on his back instead of on his hip.
He's wearing pajamas.
He's wearing pajamas. Like you said, he's smiling. He's too young. Like Lan's supposed to be like 50, right? Like literally, Lan's supposed to be old enough to be her father. Like I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
Yep.
So there's none of this is right at all.
Dan, I'm just going to say, based on the characterization, if you look at the way that he's holding his left arm, I think he's supposed to be holding a purse. They just didn't put it in post.
The CGI guys couldn't get around to it.
I will actually say, I think he is escorting her. So her right arm is underneath, and her hand is hidden by his sort of forearm. I only recognize
her hands
that
are behind
because
her back.
No, I think that right arm is being escorted.
No, she's clasping her hands behind her back.
We're about to find out when we hit play. Maybe I'm predisposed to think that because in addition to being a horse, I am also a gentleman, and I always escort a lady on my arm So we'll see how it goes.
You don't carry their purse.
Oh man, you're so right.
Yeah, man.
Damn it! I
She
thought
don't need
maybe
no escort.
I thought maybe he was a gentleman. You're right. They forgot to CGI in his purse.
I can literally hear Lady Balefire from here shrieking about the color grading in this scene.
I actually have already boosted the brightness a little bit. So that I was gonna say that. Now I have to say it. You're making me look bad, Alex. So instead of having us look at the darkened shit sandwich of this show and then lightening it in post so that the rewatch crowd can watch it, I've boosted it early so that we can see what they're gonna see. You're not welcome. It's awful. So this is about 15% brighter, I think, is what it kind of works out to be.
I can't even imagine what the conversation was like when they were doing this like cleanup. It's like, what color palette would you like? It's like, well, can you just make like a really shitty combination of like khaki and brown, mix it all together, and just we're gonna paint the entire scene that way. Like,
so
that filter over top.
That is true because we've seen this outfit on Nynaeve before. This is the yellow and green sort of elf costume.
Yeah, she's missing the coat, but
yes.
This is still the elf costume. And Land's been the same shit the whole fucking series.
Yeah,
he doesn't get a second costume.
I mean, Nynaeve skin tone wise is several shades darker than he is, and in this shot they look like brother and sister. They're that similar. And what the fuck are you people doing with the color grading in this show? Like, there is not a single aspect of this disaster that's competent, and it drives me insane.
I would
calling it whitewashing.
I would be able to comment on this, but I don't see color, so I don't know what you're talking about.
He's colorblind. He's a horse.
It's because I always bring
properly represent if we can't tell what color she is. Yeah.
She has that giant braid.
Can you please pause this? I love the lighting in this shot. How it is always right on her right temple. Like the entire way, they just had a big white bright spotlight right on her temple. It is. Sorry.
Maybe this is why they had to, down the gamma so much. The lighting was terrible, and there was no way to fix it other than, make it way too dark to see.
I mean, I think that's what Lady Balefire has been saying, right? That they fix the shitty lighting with, essentially just de-gaining the camera and doing weird color effects and stuff like that.
Isn't Lan clean shaven? So I always pictured him as clean shaven in the books.
So I feel like he's always depicted as clean shaven.
No, not necessarily on the cover art, if that counts.
Well, that's a whole different topic.
Sure enough, but it's kind of how I pictured it too, right?
It does not count.
Okay.
I think that the point that I would bring up here is if Lan were to have a beard, it would not be
a Fu Manchu,
a wispy sort of prepubescent.
That's what I was gonna work my way towards that part of the topic. But we get to see his Asian beard, which can't actually grow.
Just get a man who can grow a beard if you're gonna have a beard. If he can't grow a beard, don't have him with a beard. It's not that hard. Like,
yeah.
I've always pictured Lan as having one of those real solid 5 o'clock shadows. Like, yeah, I just got back from killing Trollocs all night kind of thing.
Well, that's the other option. Yes.
The permanent 5 o'clock shadow, right? The guy who shaves at 5 o'clock, he still has it.
Yes, that's the other manly Lan option is a 5 o'clock shadow or clean shaven, but not. I wish I could grow a beard, but I'm only 15 years old.
That being said, I think the more egregious shot that we saw of Lan came several episodes earlier, where he had basically a waxed chest.
I was going to say because we
no
do
hair
know
you could think of.
We do know that he has a pretty. I mean, he's kind of like Austin Powers on his chest hair, right? Like he
should be.
He's a hairy man from what I recall.
Lan's chest hair should be thicker than the blight in this show.
So waxed actually might still fit the bill. Is that what you're saying? The
No.
blight is like a walk in the park.
I could shave my chest. I could get through this blight. Hack. That's, yeah. All right. So now he's going to turn her down, right?
So isn't there a thing how like Lan spent his youth as like a ladies' man, and like literally everyone from the entire Borderlands wanted to bang him constantly, and he was like, yeah, you can have Lan for like a day or a night, but like you're never gonna actually win his heart. I think that was shoot, was it Morella who got his bond after Moraine?
Yeah, and fucked his brains out.
And that's
But
what she said. That's what she said to Egwene when Egwene bullied her into sending Lan to Abu Dar, right?
Yeah, but there's also a whole sex subplot with Lan in New Spring.
Exactly.
But I don't know if you've read that. Yeah.
I haven't
Sorry,
read
Dave.
New Spring, but I do on my re-listen to the entire series. It did stand out to me that Lan does sleep with women. That's
Yes.
not because the first time I read it when I was younger, I pictured him more of a monk kind of guy who didn't do that, more like a Jedi. But no, he definitely would bang a girl.
Good for Lan. Also,
yeah,
if you,
Lan is like the equivalent of the foreign exchange student girl that shows up and like all the dudes are after her.
Shannon Elizabeth from American Pie.
exactly.
Ask him if he needs a hand.
Oh man, Daniel, if you haven't read New Spring, I recommend the graphic novel. It's great, and Moraine has some extremely perky. Dane, would you like to call them milkers, or should I call them? I guess I already did. Would you like?
I don't want. No, you go ahead. I don't want Trip to yell at me in the chat.
Alex, I think, pointed out yesterday when I brought this up that apparently an ageless face isn't the only ageless thing Aes Sedai get.
Nice bonus.
But yeah, why is he such an awkward weirdo in this scene? He should be a ladies' man. Like,
Thank you for including.
Because Nynaeve has to fix him.
Wait. She didn't give him a choice. Does that mean it's rape? Probably rape, guys.
Probably rape. But what was the choice? Like he teleported outside for her.
Truth.
Yeah, don't think about it. Just assume that the characterization is correct as they're telling it to us.
I can't but see that
these
Fu
are-
Manchu right now.
These are the worst bedroom eyes I've ever seen.
That's because they obviously don't want to fuck each other.
Yeah,
Even as actors, right?
I was going to say, is it more it's so obvious the actual chemistry between these two human beings does not exist.
I like how they
Well,
didn't remind Daniel Henney that Zoe Robbins is like 3 inches shorter than him, so he's looking straight. Like in this shot, he's actually looking over her head, which just makes the entire sequence so much funnier to me. That like if he was looking down, I could see them as like sort of like awkwardly hanging out in front on the porch. But because he's looking over her head, the implication is like, don't make eye contact. I want her to go away.
He's like staring down a bear, is what you're saying?
It's too subtle for all of us.
He's looking over her head. It's like I don't know. If you've ever not wanted to make eye contact with somebody who wanted something from you, you look everywhere but their eyes.
He's thinking, I wish I had the guts that the actor like for Matt did and left this show.
He's thinking about whether his agent is 2 or 3 on his speed dial.
He probably already did the nipple twisting scene, so his career's shot. Anyways.
Wait, you're right. Hold on. She is looking up. He's looking
He's
straight.
looking up.
Okay, let's see if we can have a shot here.
Good night, he says.
She is kind of looking up a little bit. That is funny.
Yes, Zoe Robbins, whose only acting credit is fucking Power Rangers, is a better actress than Daniel Henney.
I would have been fine if they just left it right here, where he
Yes.
basically shuts the door and says good night, and
Yes.
then you can actually build something up.
Yep. It's also weird that she sort of like starts this tryst with breaking and entering. like he closed the door, and then let's watch what happens.
This is one of several scenes where if they had just cut it here, if they had cut it early, yeah, like it's salvageable. But then they decided to just drive that plane right into the side of the mountain.
Truth. All right. So now we got Rand, who the last time we saw him was storming out after being confronted with the fact that Perrin had the hots for his girl, I guess.
Oh yeah, that would make me want to go shoot my bow and arrow like nothing else.
I guess.
Is that what's happening?
You just
isn't this Lan getting undressed?
I think it's still Lan.
Oh shit!
Yeah, right. It is. It's still his pajamas. I think no, he's got to get accosted in his room.
Yeah, I was confused.
Nynaeve is Tylan.
I was confused because Nynaeve turned away from the door and walked off, and so I thought
it was a head fake.
So I thought that she was gonna I thought we were gonna get a cut to another scene, and then she was gonna come back. She was gonna think better of it. So no, she just walks in the wrong direction, and then
like 5 steps, and then this.
More of Lan's, just this is just the female gaze.
Did Lan have those scars on his back in the bathtub scene?
I don't think he did.
The first episode.
But wait, wasn't he in the bathtub with Moraine?
Yeah,
So
and he came in. We got a good shot at his ass.
All right. Well, somebody in the chat can do a quick Google search, help us out, and find out whether or not the scars are there in the bathtub scene.
Give me a sec.
Well,
do I even want to see this?
That's telling me that Moraine gave him those scars. So what happened there?
She beat the shit out of him.
Or the fight against Logain. Who the hell knows?
Steppen.
Steppen did it
when he was unconscious. When he was unconscious, Steppen just kind of carved him up a little bit. All right, but here we go. Here she breaking and entering to start this situation out. I guess his door doesn't lock.
Dude, I cannot even imagine the shrieking that would have occurred if we had swapped these genders. Like, holy fuck.
Well, actually, so that's an interesting question. I feel like the people who are the people shipping them are shipping them so hard. I'm not even I think they might have allowed it. I don't know. Yeah.
I can 100% confirm because I'm staring at Lan's ass on a separate monitor right now.
Nice.
He does not have any scars on his back in the bathtub with Moraine.
God, this show is
Good
terrible.
Grief. Shout out to Moraine for really doing a number on him. Like, she's a Hellcat.
I mean, I guess what we're supposed to take away from this is that one of a couple possible options. Either the two of them have been banging this whole time, and this is not their first encounter, and Nynaeve is a scratcher.
But those aren't fuck scars. Like Moraine or whoever, like they're not cat claws down his back. It looks like he got seriously mangled by Trolloc blades on his back.
I guess Moraine had to punish him for letting her get stabbed by that sword.
She might not be doing the typical claw scratch where her fingers are apart. Maybe she's making like one solid gouge,
Or fucking with a weapon. I hear that's like all the rage these days amongst the kids. I'm just making that up. I honestly don't think you should or anyone would ever do that.
Remember, people, when you don't have anything possible good to say about a show, you can always lie and say the cinematography is excellent. And when anybody points something like this out, you are supposed to call them a hater and a racist.
Hater. Facts. Yeah, that's the truth.
Good God, that saunter was hysterical.
Yes.
Is he going down a runway?
Oh, wait a second. Are we going to see his back here when he fucks? Maybe the scars only lasted like a scene.
Oh, she caught Perrin open mouth disease.
Now I keep on looking right at his eye line because I want to know if he can't stand looking at her while he's doing this.
He's got his eyes closed.
Okay, here we go. Now we have Rand and his assless chaps practicing his archery. And I'm gonna myself another drink. This is
Yeah.
that last.
How far away are we thinking he is here? 15 feet?
No, maybe 15 meters.
I would say he's
That'd
at
be
the
about
10.
35 feet.
I would say he's at the 10-yard line.
45 feet.
I have another question. Look at the lighting on that brick wall, that back wall. Where is all the light at the top coming from? Is this nighttime or are we in the middle of the day here? Do they have floodlights?
So
Well, we did up the gamma.
yes,
I don't know what that counts for.
some of it. It's still a valid point to say that it's basically universally well lit from the bottom all the way to the top of the wall, but all of it would have been darker.
So none of this is lit by the torches, and the reason I'll make that argument is we've got about, I'd say, 9, 10 torches and braziers, but look how distinct Rand's shadow is at his feet, right? This is being lit by floodlights off to the right.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't even mind that. Like, people will point to 2 towers in Helm's Deep and it'll be like, well, why is it so bright? And the answer is, so I can see the fucking scene, you fucking lemming. But they at least had the decency to put like a huge blue filter on it.
Right.
Like, everything is fucking blue in that scene, so you know that it's nighttime. And apparently professionals forgot that shit.
Well, you're implying there were professionals on the show.
Yeah, this show just likes the
Valid
sepia.
point.
This show just likes the sepia filter, so they just kind of stick with the sepia filter.
Dude, I keep thinking I'm in fucking Mexico with the way that this is shot. Like
just Zewat and Neo.
That's nothing against Mexico, is it?
No, it's literally that's how American white people in California film Mexico. Like, how do you know you're in Mexico? Well, everything is fucking yellow.
It's traffic. Oh, fuck, you're right.
That is true.
Benicio del Toro, he's in LA. Oh, it's all nice. He goes down to Mexico, fucking sepia.
Yeah, Hollywood people are racist as shit. There you go. There's a bullseye.
How are you gonna kill the Grom like that with that fucking short bow, Rand?
And the Grom is 5 times further away?
He kills like 5 of them, but he's the world's greatest archer in the Great Hunt.
Wonder who taught him how to hold his fingers correct between episode 1 filming and episode 7 filming. Like, I hope he went to the YMCA and took a class.
Yeah, probably something stupid like that. Certainly this show does not have the type of advisors that would be necessary to teach any of these people to do literally any of these things.
I will say, apparently, Stradowski has now finished the book series. At least that is according to his to his social media account.
Did he quit the show though?
His Twitter account.
No.
His Twitter account showed a stack of books on a shelf. We all are familiar with the concept that you can have a bookshelf full of books that you've never read.
Wait. What are you saying about me?
I totally agree. He would not be the first person to do the LeBron James where he takes a picture of himself like reading a book and he's always on the first page of the book. But I don't know. I'm going to give him a modicum of credit for the work ethic, or I'm going to give Amazon PR a little bit of credit for like trying to sell that their actor has a modicum of work. And that is as much as I'm going to say positive about this from here on out.
You know what I'll say? He obviously had the most fucking free time on set to read the fucking things because they didn't put him in any scene.
He had no lines to remember.
Nothing. It's just like, yeah, Rand, we don't need you. This is going to be Egwene's up. Oh no, Moraine's in this one. She's going to take that from you. No, you're not confronting Lan for here. That's going to be Moraine and Lan and Nynaeve. Nynaeve's not even here. Don't worry about it. And then he's going to go off to his trailer and read the books. It's obviously what happened.
I'm not a weapons expert, but I keep looking at those stupid spears.
They are awful.
Could they be any chunkier? It looks like a Halloween store prop.
Yes.
Are those spears or are those like javelins
spears.
on like a ballista?
They're spears.
They're spears.
And
But
they are awful. Yeah.
Why would you design it that way? It's just going to get stuck. You stab something with it, you're not going to be able to take it out. Like it's barbed.
Here's another question. Who left a container of Tums or whatever it is over his shoulder? What is that?
Oh my God. Is that?
Oh my
Holy
God.
shit.
That does look like a pill bottle.
Can we back up a frame or two or see what this? That's not a paracronism. That's an anachronism. There should not be plastic tubs of shit in the scene.
I mean, there also shouldn't be carbon fiber arrow shafts, but
Details.
I found
It's never
literally like his.
experience that
It's
once
protein powder.
It's never in focus, so it's hard to tell. It could be like a mason
it looked
jar.
like it had a.
It
looked like it had a warning label on it for like instructions to.
I'm just saying
consume.
it could be anything. It's not the Starbucks cup from Game of Thrones, is all I'm saying. Like it could be, a modern sort of thing. Like he took some ibuprofen right before the shot or something like that. But I don't think we can definitively say that, as much as I would like to.
It did look out of place, and that was a good find, Daniel. Good eye.
I suspect Daniel has not been drinking as much as he said he's been drinking, or those Jack Daniel's peaches are for little girls.
I just don't want to look at the actors, and so I'm looking for anything else.
Jesus.
Fair.
Harsh but fair.
That's fair. Yeah, we'll allow that.
All right. What have these two idiots been saying to each other?
I don't know. I don't want to back it up though.
When you're ready to talk, you find me. So he went away because he knew that she was going to come talk to him.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gwen pulled the ultimate chick move where she said, "I've been waiting for you to come apologize to me."
Okay, wait.
Then he did. And then he did like a bitch.
We have the thing in frame again.
Look at those sides. Those are square sides. That looks like a modern plastic jug of something with a plastic top.
So I actually think the fact that we've seen it twice now makes it less likely that it's not just a shitty prop.
Oh, that's a good point.
I disagree. I think you're assuming that we have professional set detailers.
No, I do not
think that's the case.
No, I'm assuming that they did not shoot anything in one take based on everything we've seen before, where all the actors are standing in different positions every time you see the shot. Like they did 1,000 takes to make every single one of these scenes because they're just incompetent. That's what I'm assuming.
I thought they do fewer takes because they basically do all the camera setting in post, right? Because they're filming everything with these, 16K cameras or whatever it is.
Yeah, but everybody involved is just a bunch of amateurs. So instead, they have to sit there and read their lines 15 different times. That's why we got Matt teleporting back and forth between the left and the right side of the waygate for the entirety of that 10-minute scene, because they couldn't remember which part he was supposed to be in. And so as they filmed, 10 different whatever shots and then stitched them all together again, they were all standing in the wrong spots.
We're in agreement that this silver-looking jug, which has a modern shape to it, looks anachronistic and is a bit of a fuck-up, but we're just unclear of what kind of fuck-up it is.
Yeah, I think it's just a really shitty prop. That's
okay. Anyways, Egwene, arms folded under breasts, comes to confront Rand. Rand has a couple seconds of what seems to be like a bit of a non-simp moment before he starts simping.
She got the really solid eye roll and disgust face earlier, and then right now as well. Just man, that's not the face you make at somebody that you like. This is a tangent, but there's a psychologist who did a relationship study. This is 10, 20 years ago. He took a whole bunch of couples and just had video cameras set up of them having an argument about something, right? He basically prompted them to have an argument. He'd videotape it, and he'd look for micro expressions that indicated certain emotions. And what he basically
Is this
determined.
like the argument sketch from Monty Python?
No.
Okay.
So what he found was that if during the argument you indicated a lack of respect or disdain for your partner, that there was essentially like a 95% chance that couple would have been divorced when he did a restudy like 10 or 20 years later. So like it didn't matter what you argued about or who won or how it was argued or whatever. It was just if one of the people didn't respect the other person, then the relationship was doomed. Every single facial expression that Egwene gives is just an absolute lack of respect for Rand.
Was that also what he detailed? The body language that showed the lack of respect? But I mean,
Yeah,
more to the point, like, why would you respect Rand?
true.
Like, what woman in their right mind would respect Rand Simp as we've seen him?
Fair enough. Like I said, it just made me think of that like red flags all over the place. Like any dude who saw a woman making these types of facial expressions towards him would be like, "Fuck this bitch."
Well, Pips, you make me feel better because my first fiance would give me that look, and we never got married. So, phew.
Hey, cheers. You dodged one.
I know there's nothing between you and Perrin.
Of course there isn't.
Between
That's
you and Perrin.
not
Does
why I
Perrin
like
know
you.
that?
How dare you think for even a second that I don't care about Matt?
Wait,
wouldn't
what?
For him.
Wait, bitch! You basically said like, as if he's the Dragon Reborn, and rolled your eyes, and then you had to remind like he left us, and you basically shit all over him.
How dare you think that I wouldn't fight for him, die for him? Because you've literally said "fuck that dude" no less than 5 times in this episode.
You guys are. The rules, the female rule is you can be a bitch, but you can't be called out for being a bitch.
That
Okay,
is for
but-
damn sure.
One of my favorite lines in all of movies is basically as good as it gets, right? How do you write women so well? I think of a man, and then I take away reason and accountability. Like, that was a joke. It was a clever, witty insight, but like these fucking writers are unironically expressing it to a T.
And I need to watch that movie again.
Yeah, but who the fuck makes Egwene their favorite character and then does this type of shit, right? Where from one scene to the other, she's basically acting like a stuck-up, entitled giant bitch, right? Everybody can see this. How dare you say I wouldn't fight for Matt? The last scene you weren't. Am I crazy?
Yeah, literally the last time that the two of you talked, you were saying "fuck that dude." He was a terrible guy. The darkness within him, all that other garbage.
You could rename her Libs of TikTok. Basically, if you call her up for, you just said this 5 seconds ago. How dare you point that out?
I think, man, the point you're making about like how could somebody call her his favorite character and then do this to her? I think that's the key because so we had a good conversation with Jonathan R as our last guest, and Egwene is his favorite character. But he was quick to point out all of the egregious harm that's been done to her character in this show. So yeah, I mean the fact that Ragnar,
Mary Sue made her a Taviran, so take away all of her agency up front, downplay some of the more ambitious things that she does in the series. You don't set up the proper runway for pretending to be Aes Sedai because you don't have those accepted rings.
Yeah,
and now this, right? This where she's literally contradicting herself and behaving completely bitchy and self-entitled. Like, no one walks away from watching this and with a positive impression about Egwene. So you're left scratching your head. Like, the characters that you like, you end up assassinating sometimes the worst. Moraine being another one. This turned her into an absolute idiot.
The Egwene issue is fascinating because I'm not a huge fan of her in the books, but for entirely different reasons, probably more typical reasons. Just she comes across way too tyrannical, essentially. Mm-hmm. But that's a much different thing than this, where she's basically just acting like a child. Egwene in the books, she's a very strong character and not the stupid strong female character mold of today, but more of an actual character that has a huge impact on the stories. And she's always a big personality in the room.
He's also very calculating.
Yes.
Right? She is not driven by emotion.
No, she's not. And that's one of the things that, people like myself might not like about her. She seems too calculating and cold. But hey, she's being what she thinks she needs to be as, to drive, to fight the good fight. And here, this is just more of this stupid CW drama nonsense. She's just mad that he called her out. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think this is actually a real problem, is that people have gotten so used to dramas that they write characters in fantasy like they're drama. Like, I think Perrin is maybe the worst example of this. Like, if you were in a drama, you might like Perrin because Perrin had some bad shit happen to him. Like that, you like that character in a drama. In fantasy, you like characters because they do things, not what happened to them. Like every single one of these characters was written as though they were in, One Tree Hill and not, the Wheel of Time. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
I can't even stand how Perrin speaks. Hopefully we'll get some dialogue from him. But
Alex, what are the odds that the big basketball tournament happens in season 2 of this show or season 3?
Jesus, do you think that's what Ragnar meant when he meant he was going to make the Matt versus Gowan and Glad fight to be more realistic?
It'd be a basketball tournament. He's not going to get into Duke. Oh
no! It's gonna be cricket. They're trying to still capture that Indian demographic.
Dude, you joke. I've been calling Galadriel and Rings of Power Duke, as in like nobody ever wants to cheer for Duke. Like nobody wants to cheer for a rich princess, and like she is the basketball equivalent of Duke. And the entire United States of America spends a month cheering against that character. And they made that character the main character in the most expensive television show ever. Absolutely amazing.
As you would expect them to do, obviously.
I love One Tree Hill.
Let's keep going here.
Die for him.
Sophia Bush.
Scared.
God, what a bitch.
I still
Little
am.
pussy. You pussy.
I don't want to lose you.
Oh, I thought you were scared of the blight and dying and facing the dark one.
Boy.
Never mind.
Single
Never
tear.
mind.
And,
Oh my God.
She also gets a single tear.
Ryan's wrong about
It's
one
probably
I was about to say,
eye
Coming
drops.
back.
if you ever want to lose a girl, say
All
I
of
don't
us.
want to lose you and then cry.
Listen to me.
Wait. She says, we're coming back, all of us?
Yes.
What is she basing that off of? The
Teenage naivete.
The Aes Sedai who cannot lie? She just as good called Moran a liar.
God damn it. I want Rand to watch one Charles Bronson movie. Like, I fucking hell. I don't want to lose you. Can you imagine Charles Bronson saying that? Like, if he did say that, she would be dead in literally the next scene, and then he would have to avenge her. Like, fucking hell, toxic masculinity makes so much better television.
Hey, do you guys want to watch Once Upon a Time in the West sometime? I think
I'd be
that's a
down.
Charles Bronson movie. I think that would be a good visual palette cleanse.
Well,
I was thinking Death Wish, but we can talk offline.
yeah, we'll talk about it offline.
So good.
Whatever happens, at the Eye, this power that lives inside of you, you can't ignore it. Because it won't let you. You need to go to the White Tower. Become what you've always
You were just
wanted
at the
to be.
White Tower.
Become what you always wanted to be.
You're the main
And-
character. It all
And by always, we mean like 2 weeks ago.
Yes. You didn't
And,
know you could channel until the 1 month later scene. What the fuck?
I just really like that Rand is all about making sure that his woman achieves her dreams. What a fucking
Yep.
good guy / degenerate fuck.
We haven't even gotten to the finale yet, Alex. Because that's how he wins. Or does he?
I hope my fucking liver fails before we get there.
It depends on what you drink.
Drink coffee. It repairs liver damage. All right.
I'm not without you. I've already made that mistake once.
Oh, so you admit that you cheated on him with Perrin?
I'll come with you to the White Tower.
Mistake of breaking up with him. Fuck off, Rand.
Every ice that I need some water.
This was kind
That's
of
not true
based on-
either.
I'll let someone else be yours.
He's just doing that to get some action.
Man, the
I
music
was-
in this show.
That was kind of some discussion in the Eye of the World, right? About Rand kind of following Egwene and becoming her warder.
Yeah, but not at this stage. And also, man, I would like Rand so much if the show revealed that Rand was lying to Egwene just to get laid. Like, God, that would catapult him so high up my character rankings in this show.
Ta'Veren Swirl, man, he needed this.
Yeah, dude, if Rand started using his Ta'Veren powers to get his dick wet, like, that would be so much better.
We all know Rand. He just wants to have babies and be a good mom.
God. That was savage.
I like the implication here that Nynaeve undid her braid to get some. Like, 'cause she's tying it back up here, right?
I like to think that she's tugging on it because it was not as good as she hoped it was.
Jesus.
Lan underperformed.
Well, apparently it's been like 30 fucking years for the guy. Like,
True. Either that or, maybe we're right. Maybe Lan actually didn't have an opportunity to perform. Maybe it was just pegging the whole time. But let's see. Let's see how she's dealing with this. See, that's a tug. That's a tug. Come on.
So Lan was just holding her the whole time and he just wanted to talk.
And she's pissed,
No,
right?
no.
Like, she's tugging on her braid. She looks pissed.
Okay, he didn't have that scar before.
I mean,
so
apparently
maybe
he fell
got
asleep immediately after, so maybe she has reason.
You're leaving.
Maybe she scarred him pegging him.
I love that this show makes every single woman do the stereotypical toxic masculine thing. Like, oh, so we fucked and now I'm leaving while you're still sleeping, not even leaving a note. Yep, classic.
I got work tomorrow morning. I got a busy day. I got an early meeting. I gotta go.
Like, I just can't even comprehend what would be required to come up with these scripts and not be like, are we the baddies?
So I think guaranteed Nynaeve pegged Lan. Maybe that's how they'll preserve. Like, why else would you keep in the dialogue that comes later, right? About her being a lioness and love the man you marry if he makes you smile, but hate him because he's not him. Like that.
Now I'm wishing that they had the actual sex scene in here because I can just picture her on top and growling and smacking him while he's lying there.
Yeah, like a giant barbed kind of strap on, kind of going at it, and then tugging her own braid so hard
Yes.
that she basically unraveled it, and then him picking up a couple extra scars on his back.
And he's just got a shocked expression on his face the whole time.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, we're disgusting. You're going to edit this out in post, right, Pips?
Nope, it's all going to be in there.
She looks remorseful. That's
She
how
does.
hard she pegged him.
You feel sorry about it.
Why did he call you Daishan?
Yep, don't have Agomar give this information. Have Lan tell the story
I
himself.
hate it when he calls me that.
I'm
Like-
sorry, Eggle who?
Like, do they not understand the difference that it is when somebody else tells the story of the, like, lord who doesn't want to take the responsibility of a lord, right? Versus when you tell it yourself after banging a chick? Like, this is... Oh, man.
I got a quick question, and this is going to annoy the shit out of all of you. What the fuck is that pattern on the headboard?
Yeah, I was looking at that earlier. I think it's just generic Asia pattern.
But it like, especially the panels with like the jagged blue thing, it just repeats itself over and over. Who does that?
I just like how Lan is like very like.
I think it
"Oh,
might be
man,
clouds. I think it might be like a reoccurring, like he said, generic sort of Asian style clouds. I think that might be. Maybe.
I like how Lan is just like very much like, oh, God damn it, you were just about to leave. I could have totally avoided having any conversation with you if you had just left, but now you have to talk to me.
It's his own fault for waking up, probably because his ass was sore.
Right, dude should have just pretended to stay asleep.
Yeah, just
Yeah, that would have been a better move.
I'll rub some lotion on there afterwards after she goes.
It's a title given to future kings of Markia.
The way the guys constantly
Is it?
whisper on this show in order
Yes.
to sound.
Markia was taken by the Blight so long ago.
That's a good point. I don't think we've talked about that before. That's super fucking annoying. I can't unhear that.
Yep.
I keep on noticing it. All of
They're
them
fucking
do it.
whisper talking. Shit.
All of them whisper talking. All the main characters whisper talk. I guess main characters is stretching it a bit, but yeah, Perrin, Rand, Lan, they all. I want to make this sound like it's very meaningful, but I also don't want to sound too aggressive and manly.
Good Lord, you're right. Now that I'm thinking about it, Halbrand from Rings of Power does that too. Oh my God, I hate Amazon so much.
I do it too when I want to sound important on the rewatch, but I'll stop.
I only do it when I'm asking, where is she?
I don't know.
Who is he?
I don't know if I can deal with the statement that it's canonical, and Tripp is calling this out, that the lack of like satisfied look on Nynaeve's face means that canonically Lan is bad at sex.
That's what I was saying. She was tugging her
No,
braid.
She didn't get fucked. She fucked him with an instrument. Because she's definitely not satisfied. Like in the books, obviously, she becomes less of a bitch as soon as she starts getting laid, right?
Which is hysterical. Like
It's universally
all-time
agreed.
RJ humor.
Yeah, it's Nynaeve becomes a likable character at the end, but the turning point is right where she gets married to Lan and has an amazing wedding night and basically gets railed all the time because she rules in public, which according to Seafolk custom means that he rules in private. So basically he ties her up in the bedroom and just basically goes to town on her, and it's exactly the medicine that she needs, and she becomes a better character for it.
It's why everyone says Robert Jordan writes women so well, because he puts a lot of truth into his writing.
It gives Nynaeve an actual believable arc because it's like, holy shit, now that I think about it, and I'm an adult and I'm not a 15-year-old reading this, but yeah, Nynaeve from books 1 through 7 needed to get laid. She needed to get laid hard, and she needed to get laid like 7 times a day. And then she does, and she turns into a great character.
This is what you guys come to the White Cloaks for. Learning about the intricate details of characters getting fucked into better characters.
It honestly
So
it just helps me appreciate the story more. My appreciation level goes up all the time.
There's 2 points that I think are interesting here, and Tripp makes one of them, that like, you know, if we were to believe that Nynaeve was a virgin before this, like, man, that's really damning for Lan. Like, this apparently implies that Nynaeve was not, that Nynaeve was just getting around.
Why would what about the show would make you think Nynaeve was a virgin before this?
That's an extraordinarily true point. And I actually thought better of my second question. I'll ask this to Dane offline, but let's keep this moving.
What if I promise to edit it out and then don't?
If you promise to edit it out, I will ask the question.
Do it.
Dane, is it canonical that Nynaeve and Lan do.
Flaming.
No, it's not canonical whatsoever. I don't know where that comes from.
So it comes from a point in, God, I forget what book it's in, but somebody makes a backdoor joke, and Nynaeve looks at Lan very affronted and says, "I can't believe you told them that."
I'm gonna have to read this a little bit carefully, but I don't want to go there. Like, I don't think Robert Jordan was pretty prim. Like, he talked about ankles and showing a nice leg and that kind of stuff. I don't think he would go that far, unless he was 10 times more subtle. I just don't think he would go that way. Besides, she was a wisdom. She wanted to do anal to avoid pregnancy, and I don't think she did, because I think she wanted to have Lan's babies. Like, that was a thing as well. She could have drank heartleaf tea or something else like that, unless she's like way kinkier than I thought. But no, I think what we are running into here, quite honestly, is we got a bunch of sick degenerates in the fandom that actually read that type of shit into what's actually going on. And sadly, those are the lunatics that are making this show.
Yeah, these are the Frodo and Sam shippers.
Yes.
Okay, so the exact line is, it's Matt. It's the dice were still rattling in his head. Maybe Mogadine likes back doors, he said dryly. Something cluttered in the dark end of the hall, and one of the men cursed loudly about rats. You told him? Nynaeve breathed furiously at her husband.
Yeah, about Moghedien being in Ebu Dar and attacking them, not about the back doors. So anyone who misconstrues the fact that Lan had to inform Matt that his 2 red arms were bale-fired to death, and that Moghedien was in the city actively hunting Nynaeve, and that she kept that from Matt, that's the issue. Anyone who reads that and thinks instead that this is a backdoor anal sex joke is a fucking degenerate, and they should go hang themselves because they're not worthy to read Wheel of Time.
And this was the point where
calm down there, because I think Alex might have encountered that read himself. But
I did not. I just know that was something that I've encountered people joking about on the Reddit.
But I will say, yes, both the like, noise and talking about rats in the distance, whatever, that's someone responding to the name of a Forsaken being said in front of them. Like, we're being followed by one of the Forsaken, and somebody in the background's like, drops what he was holding, that sort of gag.
That is not a backdoor double entendre. Nynaeve getting upset because she does anal. Like, anyone whose mind goes that way is a sick pervert, sicker than me, and they should not be allowed to read these books.
And that was the point in the story where she was terrified of Matt getting involved because he was immune to the one power, and he threatened to spank her.
I don't know if it was that, but it was kind of, they were a bit at odds.
Yeah.
She just didn't like having to deal with Matt, thought he was a rascal and a rogue, and didn't like being dependent on him. But I mean, she comes around because this is precisely the time that Lan is actually fucking her in the front hole.
All right.
Which is all she needed.
Well, I'm gonna have to edit a lot of that out. So
no, you should keep it. It's
no more references to Backdoor Sluts 9, and I'm just gonna go ahead and
Backdoor Sluts 9. Not that one.
Oh man, I was thinking 7, but
Alex is angling for this to be stuck in there. So
I'll make the thumbnail about it. Don't worry.
I can just see it. The Nynaeve is a 2-hole woman only.
See, Alex. Now it has to stay in.
God damn it!
Let's see if he actually can make eye contact with her after the fact.
Yeah, you know, if there's no eye contact, it lasted less than 2 minutes. All right, I see eye contact.
We don't know where he's looking.
Not from her though.
Yeah, she's not looking at him.
She's looking at the side.
Disappointed.
She's looking at the side. That's some side eye.
A boy without a family.
Wait, how does she know that he's a king without a kingdom?
You finally belong.
He just explained that.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, we got sidetracked on some other conversation.
a more interesting conversation than this show.
I cannot believe that this is seriously like what they decided was super important to cover. Like the Nynaeve, Lan, Moraine non-existent love triangle.
She doesn't.
And Horned Rabbit in the chat makes a great call. Like, I wish Lan was 10% as stoic and stone-faced as Nynaeve is after Lan railed her. Like,
The wisdom never wets.
That's also not true.
Yeah, where did they just wholly make that up for this show? Because I never.
Yeah, in the first episode they did.
Man, he is.
So Lan's telling her to stay,
All right.
not the other way around.
Are we at our break point, Pips?
We are at our break point. Thank God.
Okay. Yeah, because I got to go throw up.
That was really bad.
Well, our conversation was pretty good, even though it was about kind of
absolutely nothing related to the show.
Well, it is and it isn't. But we got a good kind of side conversation about the books and how degenerates are trying to corrupt it. I think degenerates in the same vein as those who are kind of put in charge of the television production. It's a sad thing. It's a very sad thing that there's elements of the fandom that are that nefarious, that's sick and twisted and disgusting. Like, these people should write their own stuff, should probably be on the erotica shelf, or not even publishable because it makes 50 Shades of Grey look like 49 Shades of Grey. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I agree. They obviously can't get their own works any attention, any actual audience or publication, and yeah, they hijack this stuff. And sadly, there is a large audience. I don't think it's half the population or anything, but there's a substantial audience for this nonsense and for having things dragged into the gutter.
And we know how Robert Jordan felt about this, right? Because he's on the record saying about he wasn't a fan of fan fiction more generally, but there was not a whole lot he could do about it, especially if it was respectful fan fiction, right? Using his world as magic system. But erotica, using his characters, he was going to come down like the hammer of God on them. And so far, all we've seen from this show is one of those people acting out kind of either a vengeance plot or was completely gung-ho about using Wheel of Time characters with their sick, twisted erotica, because that's all what this is. From the first episode, now here, it's just, whoa, let's get Lan and Nynaeve fucking.
Yes, Robert Jordan was very adamant that the only people that is allowed to write fan fiction about himself was him. And this is a sequence of events that should only take place between an author and his editor. And that's the only sexual implications that can be in this series.
And they were married. So yeah.
It's just so sad. I could see an adaptation to go ahead and talk about the wider scope of the show, but to adapt this in a slightly different retelling, it's a great story that would still capture so much attention and imagination. You don't have to age everyone up and throw in sex scenes and love triangles and nonsense drama, aside from all the other stuff that drives me nuts, like all the swapping. But I could see a slight change to the story while still keeping the heart of it true. But there's like everything we just watched, there was no high ideals. There was nothing, there was no desire to fight the shadow. There was nothing about being actual heroes or people who believed in the light for the sake of, humanity. What did we watch? What happened in this segment? Just stupid drama and, backbiting and squabbling. There's nothing of a higher mind here.
We watched the setup of a One Tree Hill basketball tournament, some pegging, and an anal sex joke.
Right? They didn't even have the decency to put "Take My Breath Away" from Berlin like it's Top Gun or something. Like, I don't even. This is the lack of musical quality we talk about when we talk about this show.
Yeah, we got to put these flames out.
This entire show is the soundtrack for this show is if you mashed Enya with like weird sort of tribal music for like all sorts of different cultures. There's no, like, some people are like, oh yeah, it's really highlighting, Robert Jordan's how he liked to play with mashing cultures together. And it's like, no, it just makes everything sound the same. Every single setting, scene, situation, it's all this silly Enya. And then there's, oh well, that time had throat singing, and you're just like, fuck, that made it worse. It's bad.
So, any final thoughts, guys? I think this sucked, but that's what I usually do. I usually think this sucks.
Well, my only final thought is that I'm glad to finally know where all the scars are coming from on land. And I would love to see.
You could just picture Nynaeve in fucking leather with a strap on and a bunch of whips, just basically going at Lan, flailing and pegging him at the same time. And then 5 minutes later, when it's all done, he's in post-coital bliss, and then she's nervous trepidation redoing the braid that she tugged out of her fucking skull.
I think someone needs to put together either a compilation of all his shirtless scenes or a website or something. And I'd love to see like the back-to-back pictures of his back with scars, no scars.
He guaranteed. I looked it up. He had no fucking scars when we saw his ass cheeks in the wine spring. Scars.
I am guessing that the makeup team had no like diagram or anything like that in terms of they just threw scars on him whenever he didn't have a shirt on and had no clue what they did the last scene.
Or someone thought of it where they're just like, all right, we got to put some scars on Lan's back. And no one thought to say, well, wait, did he have scars in the wine spring?
Yeah.
Didn't come up. Idiots. Incompetence, not malice, that one.
And this is within one season. Like, you could see this happening a multi-season arc, but within the same season to not even understand. I'm so curious to know how little communication there were between episodes and directors and crews.
Well, we'll watch in season 2 if Lan's got another shirtless scene, but he probably won't have scars.
Oh, we know he has a shirtless scene. We've seen in the behind the scenes where he's just chopping, he's just doing the most low effort sort of like side swipe sword, like he's swinging an axe at a tree.
Oh, fuck. In the break, I'm going to go look that up, and I'm going to see if he's got a scar.
It's only from the front, so I'm not sure that you'd be able to see. But
damn it! Damn you, Pips! Damn you, Pips, for reminding me of what I cannot achieve today.
Fair enough. Alex, what do you got?
Why is this here? Like, we could be fighting Trollocs and the Blight right now, but nope, that's not what we're about. We're about shitty relationship drama. Fuck it all.
Yeah. I'm gonna agree with you as well. So I would say if this is all they wanted to give us in Faldara, they should have just given this to us in freaking Tar-Valon. Just shove the entire flippin' season into Tar-Valon. Have them jump the Waygate straight into the Blight. Screw it. Have Moraine and Rand be the only one who even go into the ways. Whatever. Like, I don't care. Screw it. Whatever. It doesn't have to make any sense.
Doesn't have to. And besides, like, holy shit, you could have had this all in Tar-Valon because they could have just been using Moraine's ter'angreal.
Yep.
But okay, one thing, now that you do mention it, one thing I really did like about this section, we didn't see Rosamund Pike at all.
Oh shit. There was, I had a sense of something
and this
good
is for like
happening.
The first time in a long fucking time.
Yeah, I had a sense of something good happening and I couldn't put a word to it, and now that makes sense.
When I looked at if you look at the titles or the little short sentence description for every episode on Amazon,
yeah,
They all start with Moraine except for one of them. Everything starts. It's hilarious. Moraine faces this. Moraine does that. Moraine sees so and so. Every description.
Is this the episode that it doesn't talk about Moraine?
I don't recall which one didn't.
Nah.
Yeah, all 7 except for one of them.
Fuck this show.
And it has to be episode 2, right? Like Moraine is literally unconscious for the majority of that episode.
No, she's going to be key in episode. And I think it's episode 3 where she's unconscious the whole time. But episode 3, it's Moraine fights the fever and unconsciousness while the boys fuck off and discover a coal mining town.
And dogs.
I got nothing else other than refilling my glass. So if that's it,
let's have a break. Yeah, everyone on the Discord, thanks for being in chat. Thanks for coming out for this. Everyone later on YouTube, please chat. We'll try and respond, and it's great. If you are just catching this on YouTube and you don't know who we are or what we do, please check us out. Give us a like, a subscribe, share with a friend. We got a whole bunch of this rewatch. We're getting pretty deep into it, but we got hours and hours of terrible content for you to digest, hopefully at like high speed, because you can do that on YouTube. You don't have to listen to us for hours on end. You can cut it in half by listening to us very quickly. Although that doesn't help with the algos, but whatever. We got how many subs now, Pips?
381, something like that.
Fucking 8. We're still like 600 away from getting monetized. And guess what? None of us are doing this because we want to make money doing this. We're doing this because we hate this fucking show. So if you hate it too, please share your hate by liking and subscribing and sharing with a friend and maybe giving us a comment. But yeah, walk in the hate.
And walk in the light.